Now, when we talk of reparation, what do we have as Africa to hold the global north to account? We might think we have nothing, and we feel weak when we ask for compensation for things that were done wrong to us. And while we deal with reparations for the global north and all the colonial masters that did the wrongs that they did to Africa, the continent of Africa, whose families probably are going to forget if we don't bring this history up and deal with it decisively. Have countries been compensated for reparation? Yes. Germany paid reparation to the Holocaust victims, their heirs, and the State of Israel. Germany also paid reparations to Namibia for the Herero-Nama genocide. Well, it's documented that they did, and if they didn't, then I guess we have to look into that as well, because there were discussions, very deep discussions on reparation for Namibia. What I know is that when we feel weak as a continent, we will never be able to get what we deserve, because we are already going to the table as people who are weak. But is Africa weak? Everybody talks about Africa as this continent with all the raw materials that the West wants. They want our minerals, they want our youth, they want our agricultural products, they want a lot. Even right now, when it comes to saving the globe, Africa is seen to be the least in terms of emissions, 4%, and yet it's suffering the biggest brunt when it comes to climate change. So what do we have that can actually bring them to their knees? We have the debt. The debt that they have given us at very high prices, very high interest rates. It's another form of colonialism that I think Africa should sit together and be united on that front. When it comes to our minerals, they cannot run their countries without our minerals. But are we prepared as the continent of Africa? And this is the challenge to the new leadership. Are we prepared to actually sit on the same table, put our differences aside, and recognize that we first need to address the various wars that we have in our continent? We need to silence the guns. DRC, we say it's the breadbasket of Africa. It has the minerals to sustain Africa. But yet, we sit and watch the DRC crumble. We've got the Sudan, okay? And we've got so many other places that we know in Africa. The guns need to be silenced, but not only silenced. We need to come with a unity of purpose, a unity that Africa speaks with one voice, that all the leaders put their differences aside and remember that they are brothers. Irrespective of our religious backgrounds, irrespective of our tribes, irrespective of our gender, we need to come together with one agenda. And what is that one agenda? To make sure that Africa gets the reparation that it needs. And the only way we're going to do that is through unity of purpose. The prosperity of Africa depends on our unity. Are we prepared to be unified as a continent to be able to take what is rightfully ours in terms of reparation? Thank you, Madam President.
Yes, how brave she is. Welcome and greetings to all of you, dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans. As you heard, my dear lovely friends, Africa demanding reparation, Africa demanding permanent seat in the UN Security Council, and many other things. Africa demand freedom, total independence. Africa demand economic freedom. So what if we are not going to attain all these things that we demand? What are we going to do as Africans? Because if you look very keenly, you will understand that we are weak. And we are weak because of we are not organized, we are disunited. So what do we have as Africans? If you look other civilization, if you go to other countries, they're so powerful, they are military powerful, they are technologically powerful. They have something that when they go out or when they go on the negotiation table, they have something to offer. We Africans, what do we have that we can show to the world that if you don't do this, we are going to do this? What do we have as Africans? So I think we need to start thinking as Africans. Of course, our mothers have spoken very well about the issue of unity. We have been saying these things many times, almost in every video in this platform. We have been sharing the issue of unity, how important unity is, but our leaders listen us not. I don't know why they are not happy with our unity, but all of us, we know that unity is important. And even if maybe we not be strong militarily, but our unity will make us to speak with one voice so that we can be heard by anybody. So because of division, I don't see even this liberation Africa is going to be liberated, because we are so divided. And even those who want to maybe to repatriate us or to do something to us, they see these people are not organized. They don't know what they want. That's what we are looks like. I think this is the time for Africans to see what we can do in order to unite. I'm speaking the issue of unity. This is not for the first time or 10 times. Have spoken the issue of unity many times. And I saw one of my friends saying that South Africa is not ready for unity. And I know, because there are some white people who are not happy with the United Africa. So they fear that maybe if black South Africans will join hands with the rest of the continent, maybe they will lose their properties, such as land. But all in all, we must understand that there are some internal obstacles within the continent of Africa that are making us Africans difficult to unite. But all in all of us, we know the importance of unity. As you heard, our mother, she is a member of Pan-African Parliament. I think a Pan-African Parliament has to pass resolutions and laws to make sure that the continent is going to unite. There's no need to ask people who have no power, who have no mandatory, to push the issue of unity. And of course, I've been saying that if our leaders, those who are in position to make sure that Africans are going to unite, are doing nothing, young people will take their responsibilities. We have seen in some countries where young people have awakening and pushing their leaders to their demands. And the main issue right now, the demand of many Africans, is the issue of unity. Because when you talk about unity, you talk about market. Today we are talking about Africa of a population of 1.4 billion people. But if you go individually as countries, you find that we have countries that have 2 million people. So just imagine. So how can you compete or ask reparation to United States of America, ask reparation to Europeans who colonized you, while you have a population of 2 million people? And you have nothing. You don't have technology. You are not military powerful. You are weak. So do you think they will give you what you want? I think the only solution for we to get what we want is through our unity. And one of the good things that we have right now, my dear lovely family, we have leaders who are very conscious, who are lead Pan-Africanist. If we can join with them, I think we can succeed. We have leaders in Sahel. You see their courage. You see their ambition. You see how they're so powerful. You see their energies. If we can join them, the rest of the continent, you can join Captain Traore, you can join Assimi Goita and Ibrahim Chan, and those who are so energetic to demand our reparation and permanent seat in the UN Security Council. I hope we can be heard and our demand will be fulfilled, because we have something to offer. But right now, with the current leadership that we have in the continent, with the continental bodies and these sub-regional bodies that we have that are being sponsored by the West, I don't think even reparation we are going to be obtained. I think we are going to lose almost everything. I'm saying this because even our mother has spoken very well that the way to attain what we want is to come together. But the situation that we have right now, I don't see that we are going to unite, we are going to speak with one voice, we are going to unite for the purpose, because we have seen those who are our own working very closely to those who sometimes humiliated us. We have seen, of course, we are talking about maybe the issue of diplomatic issues, something like that. But when it comes to the issue that we want as Africans, when we come to our interest, we have to keep aside those diplomatic interests. We have to demand what is ours. Right now, as I speak to you now, my dear lovely family, parts of our ancestors, our artifacts are in the museum in different capitals in Europe. If you heard African leaders, especially African Union, demanding the return of those parts of our ancestors, those artifacts, if you heard, and if you heard, what action are we taking or they have taken as Africans? Nothing. We cannot attain what we want by mere talking only or by providing good speeches. We can attain what we want if we can take actions. If we are saying we are not going to offer you our minerals until maybe you are fulfilling 1, 2, 3, or you have doing this and that, I think we can succeed. But just talking only, we are going nowhere, my dear lovely family. We are not going to attain those permanent seats. Of course, permanent seats will attain because is the only way to divide Africans. They will give ECOWAS maybe one permanent seat in the UN Security Council, another one to SADC. That is just manipulation. Of course, Africans will say we have permanent seats in the UN Security Council, but those permanent seats are going to divide Africans. If we want our voice to be heard as Africans or as a continent, we need to have a single permanent seat with the veto power. We need, first of all, to unite, to come together, to decide that we have not to use African Union, because there are some countries that are not members of African Union. We want a united Africa where leaders of that united Africa will represent all Africans, not African Union that is being sponsored by the West or some NGOs. We want a united Africa. If we can have a united Africa, I'm sure Africa, we can achieve many things. Because a few days I shared the video of former commission of AU Commission Chair Musa Faki. He spoken very openly that he was denied to enter some countries, even if he hold diplomatic passport, he hold African Union passport, but he was denied to enter some African countries. Just imagine. So this African Union has no power. We need a united Africa that will be powerful, that all of us will obey, and that all of us will see is a tool that is representing all of us, not only in the continent, even to those who are in the diaspora. That's what we want. So, my dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans, I'm very happy to be with you at this time, at this moment, to share a few things from our mother continent, Africa. But the main issue here is about importance of unity, how unity is important for us, and how we can work together and unite in order to attain what we want as Africans. So up to that, my dear lovely family, let me say, stay in power. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa.